Hi everyone, let's see the concept of packages. Package means simply we can assume it as a folder. Means when you open a system, the files are arranged in an hierarchical manner, right? Hierarchical order. So why they have arranged in a hierarchical order? Because to access the data efficiently, they arranged them in a hierarchical order. That too in a folder format. Because of this arranging data in a folder format, searching time will reduce. For example, let me take, there are some files which are related to CSCA section, something like 10 files are there, and there are 10 files which are related to CSCB section, 10 files which are related to CSCC section, 10 files which are related to CSCD section. Total 40 files are there, and the system is not using any kind of folder approach. All 40 files are located in a single location called some CSC folder. CSC folder. When I ask somebody, guys, can you bring the file name CSCB underscore 35? What they will do? They need to open the folder CSC. In that, they have to search for the file CSCB. They have to search for the file CSCB. So I am having 40 files. Out of 40 files, to get one of the required file, it will take some extra time or not? Yes. So instead of that, what we can do? We can arrange them the same thing in a hierarchical manner, like some folder approach. CSC, this I am going to classify as CSCA, CSCB folder, CSCC folder, and CSCD folder. Means the CSC folder in turn subdivide into 4 folders for each section. Now CSCA files, all 10 files are related to CSCA folder. All 10 files which are belongs to CSCB I will place in CSCB folder. Similarly, the remaining 10 files also I will place. Now, when I ask somebody, guys, can you bring the file which are related to CSCB section, like the file name is CSCB underscore 3? Then what the person will do? He will open the folder CSC. In that, he will directly open the folder CSCB. In that, he will search for only 10 files. Now observe, comparing 40 files, meaning that find out in the file CSCB underscore 3 among 40 files, will take more time comparing to search for the file CSCB underscore 3 in 10 files. Am I right or not? Yes. So this is the one of the advantage of the need of storing the data in a hierarchical manner. The same thing that our operating system is also following. Like you will have my computer, in that D drive, E drive, F drive. So these drives are depend upon the way you give the names. But the thing is, you have to understand everything is going to arrange in the form of a folders. So one of the advantage of storing the data in the form of folders is we can able to search the required file within a less time, meaning that the search time will reduce. And one more thing, let me explain here. See guys, for example, there is a kind of server. There is a kind of server. The same data, this data is available in one server. This data is available in one server, meaning that arrangement of data has changed from one server 1 to server 2. Server 1 to server 2. Guys, if I ask, I am asking a person, can you download the file CSCB underscore 3? When I ask somebody, let's assume that each file having a capacity of 1 MB. having a capacity of 1 MB. So total how much MB for this entire second server capacity? 40 MB. 40 MB. Here also the second server capacity is 40 MB. 40 MB and 40 MB. But to get the file cscb underscore 3, here there is a, I mean, let us assume there is a kind of condition. I'm just making it as I can't able to view files directly, but I can download. Then I can view the file. And also one more important point for this assumption, I can view the folders directly. I can open or view the folders directly. Then in this assumption, what we can do, as here I will open the folder csc. It contains 40 files. I can't able to view the files directly here. I can't able. So instead, I need to download the entire folder. So how much MB here you need to download? I need to download 40 MB of data. Download 40 MB of data. So 40 MB of data downloading will take some more time. Yes, right? So whereas coming to the arrangement one, here what I can do, I can open the folders, right? So I will open the csc. In that I will open the folder cscb. In that the cscb folder I will download. cscb folder I can download. The cscb folder, how much MB it is there? It is only 10 MB. So downloading 10 MB is far better than downloading 40 MB or not. Yes, this is the one general assumption example, Amma. Not a direct example, one assumption example. But coming to your system arrangement hierarchy, it's one of the example where we can reduce the searching time. Okay, fine. Or for example, let me take, there are two persons whose names are A and B. They are working on a single system. Location. I mean, on the same drive they are working. I mean, at what scenarios you will get this kind of situation? While working with distributed systems, you will get the same persons can work on the same system in a single location. Okay, fine. This person is belongs to CSE department. This person is belongs to EC department. They are trying to access a folder whose folder name is Java. Here they are trying to write something. I mean, for example, they are trying to create a file called csc.java. Trying to write by whom? Let us assume that B person. Similarly, there is a person who is also trying to write one file whose that file name is csca.java. Guys, if you observe in your system, normally whatever system you are working in your system, you have created a folder whose folder is csc. In that, if you are trying to copy two files with same name, name 1 and name 2, is it allowed? Is the system is allowed? No. It will provide some kind of error. That error you are getting because of naming conflict. Am I right or not? Yes. So similarly, when two persons are trying to work in a single location and they're trying to give the same name for a particular file, you are getting what kind of problem? You are getting naming conflict problem. But can we overcome this problem? Yes, definitely. We can overcome this problem through, once again, what approach? Folder approach. How can I do that? I will have a folder called Java folder. In that, I will create once again I am saying that I will classify them with the department. In Java folder, I will create CSE folder, and also I will create ECE folder. ECE folder. Now, CSEA people faculty is there. They are trying to write one file called csc.java. Is it allowed? Sorry, I should not make a folder. It's a file. Yes. The ECE faculty people are also trying to write the file name csc.java. Now, is it allowed or not? Yes, definitely it is allowed. So, through the concept of folder approach, I can able to overcome the problem of naming conflict. Naming conflict. Okay, fine. For example, coming to the previous scenario, here there are 40 files are there. 40 files are there. I will take here. There are 40 files. Okay, out of these 40 files, uh, for example, there are some files. There are some files which are which should not disclose to anybody. Which should not disclose to anybody. I mean, for example, in our system, daily system, you will have 4 drives: D, E, F. Some I am assuming that it is a B. Okay, assume. Okay, fine. So then what we are doing, we'll try to set some passwords for some kind of folders where where you will have some secret information. Some secret information. Am I right or not? Yes. Meaning that when you have your photos, when you have some kind of information which should not disclose to somebody, then we'll make them as a some password so that some people cannot able to open that thing. Open that thing. Okay, fine. So this is because how you got, because of following the approach, folder approach. Folder. I mean, arranging the data in a folder format. I mean, sir. Just think about here. If I'm having 40 files, if I am having 40 files, I can't able to take a single file and I cannot able to make password for that in our operating system. Yes, definitely. So what we can do is, whatever the files that we are thinking that as a secret, I will make all those I will make all those secret files in a single folder, and for that folder I will make a password. I will make a password. So this thing we can do with the help of folder approach. Folder approach. What I need to conclude here is, we can able to define who should view our files, who should view files, who should not view our files. That thing we can do with the help of folders concept. I mean, simply we can call it as, it's a kind of visibility mechanism which are given by operating system in our daily life. Okay, and one more thing, the approach that we are doing here, we can simply call it as a modular approach. Modular approach. This in turn will comes an example under this example. Why? Because there is a huge data. There is a huge data. If that huge data I am going to divide into four parts, searching a single item in the huge data directly is inefficient, but searching a data by parts is efficient. So that approach we can call it as modular approach. We'll call it as a modular approach. Okay, I mean, in modular approach, what we are going to do generally in design analysis of algorithm, there is approach, right? So we are having a uh, big task. We are having a big task. That task I am going to divide into small chunks. I am going to divide. I mean, divide and conquer approach. Simply we call it as divide and modular approach. uh, Dividing into small chunks where each chunk I can able to solve directly. Once I solve, I will get back to the previous step and I will add and I will make solving this big task. That approach we call it as modular approach. The same thing that we are following here. Okay, So what I can conclude here is, so with the help of folder approach, with the help of folders approach in our operating system, we can get four advantages. One is searching time will reduce, and second one is we can avoid the naming conflicts. We can avoid naming conflicts. Another one is we can overcome the visibility mechanism. I mean, in the sense, who can view my files, who cannot view my files. And another one is it is a simple mechanism to implement modular approach. Modular approach. Okay, these are the advantages of following the folder approaching process. Okay, fine. So coming to the concept of packages, a package is simply, we can say, it's a system defined physical folder. Physical folder means for example, mm, let us take, there is a project, there is a project under the project, some 100 people are working. 100 people are working. These 100 people will develop how many files? They are going to develop huge number of files. Huge number of files. We can't think that every person will able to every person will able to give different name to all files. There is a chance that some people will give the similar kind of names based on the requirement. So here we'll get one kind of conflict, naming conflict. Okay, so once we follow this kind of approach, we can able to overcome this problem. Similarly, among these huge files, there are some files, which should not disclose to some one team to another team. Am I right or not? See guys, 100 people is going to work on the same project, but these 100 people are going to divide into multiple modules. I mean, multiple groups. We can call it as team A and team B. Team A is purely related to database code, and team B is purely related to front end code. Like that, they are going to divide. So whatever the things that they are writing in team A, those are not required for team B. Let us assume those are not required for team B. Then it is the unnecessary to disclose all the files which are related to team A to team B or not. Yes. So that thing we can get by following the folder approach. That is like visibility mechanism we can get. Similarly, once we follow the modular approach, it is easy for us to search for a particular file, as well as one more thing is uh, if I am having some file whose file name is connect, if this file wants to use for both team A and for for team B, then it is easy for us to make one particular location this file. I'm going to place this file in a one particular location. That file I can able to share to both team A and team B. So this is also one of the advantages of modular approach. Okay, simply I can say that a package is a physical folder. That's it. So in terms of technical definition, we can simply call it as a package is a collection of files and sub packages. Sub packages. Okay, don't think that it is a new word. Sub packages means once again a subfolder. Mean there is a folder called JK folder. In that folder, there is a file called a.class, b.class, CSC folder. This CSC contains once again c.class, d.class, some e.class. That's it. So this one we call it as a package. This package is a collection of some files and a subfolder. Will technical call it as sub package in Java. That sub package in turn is a collection of once again files. Sir, what files are allowed? Every file is allowed, but the usable files are only classes and interfaces. If you make all the files also, there is no use, right? See guys, you have something like JDK and JRE. If you want to run the files, you require only JRE. That's it. JDK is not required. So for to run JRE, you require only .class file. That's it. Interface also generate .class files. So simply, what files we can place in a package? In a package, we can simply say that it's a collection of classes and sub packages, and a sub package in turn is a collection of classes and sub package. That's it. So because of this managing the files in terms of folders, in terms of packages, there are some files which are in package 1 like a.class, b.class, and there is a package called p2. It also contains c.class, it contains d.class, it also contains p3 dot. Okay, fine, let me take it as once again one folder. P3 folder, it contains e.class, let us assume. What is the advantage of this package concept is I can able to define whether these class files should have to disclose to this sub package or not, or whether these p2 package files I want to disclose to p1 package or not, and vice versa. Like that I can able to define. Means my class files should be disclosed to whom, which package, that we can define with the help of the concept of packages that we have seen in folder approach also, that is visibility approach. Means who can access my file, that's it. Simply we can say that thing we already know. Public accessible, right? Public, protected, default, private, various kind of accessibility modifiers, right? So based on these, which should I need to disclose to some other package, which I should not disclose to some other package. Okay, fine. So simply up to now what we discussed is, what do you mean by package? Is simply a physical folder structure, that's it. What is the need of packages? What is the need of packages? Means simply these 4 advantages, that's it. And then we have seen one simple technical definition of a package: collection of classes and sub packages. Okay, fine. So in general, these packages are two types. One is that we know, it's a normal classification, like one kind of packages which are developed by already Sun Microsystem people. Sun Microsystem, we can simply call it as core packages. core packages are predefined packages or whatever the synonyms you can take, built-in packages. And another kind of classification is user defined packages. User defined packages. Okay, so coming to the discussion of first, let me have brief information about predefined packages. Then I will go for uh, explain the concept of user defined packages. This user defined package is important for us because here you will see how to create a package, how to work with package, all those. But the predefined packages are those packages which are developed by Sun Microsystem peoples. So those packages that we are directly utilizing to implement some kind of new features through these packages. I mean, uh, in our previous programs also, we have written some kind of default package, java.long.star. It's a kind of package. So this package is system generally, uh, how they, what is the meaning of they arrange? They arrange in a folder called Java, what I said already also. In that Java folder, there is a folder called long folder. In that, there are some files. These files I need to import to my Java program. That is what the meaning of this one. So simply you can understood, everything is a kind of a folder. So this is a complete package. Okay, so generally there are some predefined packages are there, which are approximately 14 packages are there. 14 predefined packages are there. Learning Java is simply learning about all these 14 packages. That's it. I mean, you are trying to use the class called scanner class. This scanner class is available in which package? Java dot util dot scanner. That's it. So if you know where this scanner class is available, then you are learning about the package util package. That's it. Okay, fine. So I will just show some of the predefined packages so that it will be good for us to know that. First one is one of the predefined package, which is also a default package. Even though we are not writing in our Java program, the system implicitly import this package because this is a basic package, java.lang.star, which is used for to convert from uh, like generally a string data to fundamental data type. Fundamental data type, like and also like displaying result on the console, and something like garbage collector. I hope you know the meaning of garbage collector. So without involving the developer, the internal background in the background of Java program, uh, based on the requirement, garbage collector program will run. So practical example also, how to call explicitly also I have explained. So GC is a method which we can call explicitly, sorry. But even though whether you are calling or not, it is not bother about anything. Explicitly, it will call implicitly based upon the need. So these are the some of the uses of java.lang package. I'm just giving overview. Something like java.util.star. So one of the advantages, to read data from to read data through keyboard, we can use data through keyboard. We can use util package. Generally, this package used for uh, to develop a reliable applications. So even though I am explaining in depth about this package, you can't able to understood. So just 2 points: to read data through keyboard and to implement uh, to develop a quality and reliable applications. That's it. Okay, fine. And one more thing, Java dot applet package, applet dot star. So this package is meant for to develop browser oriented applications. Browser oriented application, meaning that whatever the application that you are implementing, if you want to work through browsers, means that whatever Java program that we are writing, if those Java programs runs under a browser, then we call them, we'll use the concept of applets. Okay, once we'll see this concept once again in the next chapters. Okay, na? Fine. And java dot io dot star. See, don't think about what is the meaning of star, just I will explain. Java dot io, meaning that io means input output. So in order to work with uh, file handling applications, applications, we can use the package java.io.star. File handling means, so to read the data from the file, to write the data over a file, all those we can do with the help of java.io.star package. Java.awt.star. So AWT means abstract window toolkit. Don't worry, all these files that we are going to study in further units. Just I am giving only just introduction. Abstract window toolkit. Okay, so this package is meant for to implement GUI components. To implement GUI. GUI means graphical user interface components. Graphical user interface components. I mean, if you have kind of applications where you will see some kind of thing like button, check boxes, radio buttons, all these are all meaning that wherever the things that user is interacting, we can call it as a GUI component, like button, checkbox, radio buttons, all these are all comes under. So if you want to implement this kind of features, we'll use a package called java.awt.star. And for this there is a sub package, I can say java.awt.event.star. Event.star. This is a sub package. What is the meaning of this one? See, observe here. Java folder is there. In that Java folder, there is a folder called AWT folder. In that, it is going to import all the files. It is going to import all the files. It is going to import all the files except the subfolder summa. It won't import subfolders. Observe, guys. It won't import subfolders. It is going to import star means all. All. Observe here, I will write one thing. Already I explained this one. Java dot util dot star package. I have explained this one already. Java dot, okay, I will write here. Java dot util dot star package. I will write once again one more other way. Java dot util dot scanner. Util dot scanner. My requirement is I want to read. I want to take some input from keyboard. Keyboard. I can use which package? I can use util package. But in in what way I can write? I can go for either first approach or a second approach. What's the meaning of this one? Star means it is going to import. It is going to import or it is going to load all files. It is going to load files, all files. This all files include scanner class also. All files include scanner class also. But the second way is what? It is going to load only scanner class. It is going to load only scanner class. So just think about this one. Loading the all files which include the scanner class is sufficient, or loading the scanner class is only sufficient? The second one is only sufficient, because if I do this syntax java.util.star, it is going to load all the unnecessary files also, which are not meant for that particular program. So this writing this kind of structure, the first way is may not yield good thing, may not be, it will yield correct output, but the thing is it is not efficient program. So try to load the classes which you require, that's it. So specifically you need to mention. Okay, fine. So like that we need to write. So if I write like this, java.aw.event.star, what is the meaning of this one? It is going to load, it is not going to load all these files. It is not going to load all these files, but it will load the files which are there in a subfolder called event. So the difference between these two, java.aw.star, java.aw.event.star, is this is going to provide functionality to the GUI components. What do you know functionality? It is going to perform some function. For example, when I click a button, so that is the meaning of this functionality. When I click a button, what action I need to perform? When I select mail radio button, what action I need to perform? When I click cursor, when I click right cursor, when I click right button, what action I need to do? That functionality we are going to done through the concept of, through the package java.aw.event.star package. Event.star package. Okay, fine. And there is one more important one, java.sql.star. SQL.star. So which is meant for to work with database. To work with database, I mean, in order to retrieve the data from database, or in order to update the data into the database, we can use a package called java.sql.star. So like this, we'll have 14 packages approximately. That's what I said, right? Approximately 14 packages are there. Those are all packages we can use based upon our requirement. Okay, the thing you have to understood here is star means loading of all files. Specific class means loading of a specific file. Whatever the way you can write, it will yield exact output. But the thing is, try to load specific files. Don't load all files. Try to load specific files. Okay, fine. So generally, sorry. This package, core package and user defined package. So core package I have explained. Okay. So in the next class, I'm going to explain the user defined package. This is very, very important. Okay. So before going to turn off the class, let me show, guys, do you think that whenever I am writing like, whenever I have showed some profile, Java P space, some profile, whenever I am going to show some profile of a particular program, like which may be a scanner class also, which may be a scanner class, so do you think that all these files are present in our system? Yes, whatever the package that we are using in our programming, all those packages are available in our system, Amma. Are available in system, meaning that whenever you install a Java software, those all packages are downloaded and will be reside in our C drive. Okay, let me show that. Go to C drive, program files, Java. We need to work with JDK, right? JRE doesn't contain those files. In JDK, Java Development Kit, JDK, here there is a folder called source folder. See, observe, there is a folder called source folder. I'm just copying. I'm going to make paste here, paste on the desktop. I'm going to just extract because I want to show uh, all the packages which are there in our uh, system. I mean, see, what is the root folder of Java only. Java X is also there. Like this, there are some root folders are there in Java. we'll go for lang package. In that lang package, we'll have something here. Util package, it contains something like this. All it is extracting actually. That's what I'm explaining. So let me show the practicality. So whether these are all available or not. Hmm. See, there is a folder called src folder. Observe here, there are some folders: com, java, java x means advanced java, launcher, some arg folders which are meant for some specific purpose. I want to show here is there is a folder called java folder. In that, subfolders are what? Applets, awt, beans, io. Observe guys here, how many subfolders are there? 14 items are there. 14 items means 14 items means what? 14 packages or not? It is starts with java root, followed by a package whose option. How many choices are there here? 14 choices. What are those? One may be applet, awt, beans, io, long, math, net, nio, rmi, security, sql, text, time, util. So that is why I'm saying that there are 14 packages are there. Okay, so if you go for lang package, if I open lang package, it also contains various things. What are all these? From abstract method error 2, all the things are all java files which are developed by whom? Sun Microsystem people, which are given by predefined java classes. Okay, so if you want to make, if you want to show some understanding manner, I will open the package util package. In that, there are some folders once again. So what we know one class file, that is scanner class, right? Just I will show scanner exists or not. Scanner class, see, observe. Sorry, I want to open with notepad. See, this is a scanner class. These are all what copyrights, all that class file, that class copyrights ma. See, they have a package called java.util package. And let me explain all this once again later. They have written some code here. So scanner class, what it is going to do? It is going to perform next int, next long, next byte, has next, all this, right? See, observe. These are all comments. See, if I observe, these are all comments. Observe Boolean pattern. These are all the predefined codes which are developed by developers only. So if you want to see the code, you can see. That is my main aim here. I want to show has next method. Has next are some methods which you know. This is a predefined code. So writing this entire code is difficult, right, for us. So they have given. See, there is a method called public boolean has next method. Has next method. Has next line method. These are all methods we have explained while explaining the scanner class. So like this is a kind of predefined class. So instead of writing entire code of this scanner class, we are just inheriting this scanner class in our Java program. That's it. See, string tokenizer, all this. What about string ma? String and string buffer, string builder. I have given difference, right? If I open string, string is what? We cannot able to modify, immutable, right? So why immutable? Because they made this as a final. Because they made this as a final. So because of they made this as a final, we cannot able to modify the string class. That's it. So like this, we'll have 14 packages. Studying about all these 14 packages will define us how much knowledge you have in Java. That's it. Okay, fine. So this is what about today's class. In the next class, we'll see user defined packages. Thank you.